YouTube, it's John from Must Have Rust. Got another project today. It's this small nightstand. Normally I don't fool with ones that aren't pairs, but I think it's really cute. It has some damage and some things that we're gonna have to figure out, but I think it deserves a new life. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do to give it a little of an update and address this missing piece of trim and some of these chip veneers. So stay tuned. The first order of business is this chipped veneer right here. We gotta get this all the way off so we have a flat surface. Fortunately, I think it's just on this front edge. And because this is an older piece, it's coming off pretty easily. Yeah, that's something that we can sand, smooth, and paint now. That's with the first challenge sorted. We can move on to this drawer, which is missing this piece of trim. I hate to have to delete all this, but there's no way I'm going to be able to make something that matches this. Glue it in and not have it split or chip or do something funky. So I think the solution is just clean up the whole drawer facing and get rid of all of it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Yeah, and it's starting to work. It's one piece off. Okay, that's coming really easily, which makes me actually concerned for what veneer issues we might have down the road. The glue's just giving up that quickly. So we have a little bit here where the veneer didn't go all the way to the edge, which we'll have to probably do some puttying and sanding, but my hope is that without the trim we can maybe have a little bit of a smoother line, less to catch your eye, maybe make it a little sleeker, because I'm going to give this a paint job. It's going to make it a little trendier, so hopefully that's consistent with it. I really won't know till it gets color. Next we've got to scuff the entire piece and sand out any blemishes we have. You can tell now that there's going to be some nicks. It might be a little deeper than I like, but they could possibly be puttied, or maybe we can sand them out. Don't want to spend a ton of prep work on this because it's a smaller piece. Resale price isn't going to be as high, but I am going to go with, I think, a darker color, so some of these blemishes are going to show. But you can see it's starting, some of that's starting to go away, so we might be all right. Here's another angle. It's been beat up pretty bad here, so I'm going to hit it with something a little more aggressive to get that sanded out, because that will show up forever underneath the color once we get it painted. I'm actually using my palm sander, just the disc, because mine's on the Fritz. If anyone's ever had that happen, I'd be curious to know why, when it just starts going into berserk mode and spinning really fast. What goes wrong there, because I really miss it. Now this is extremely coarse, so we'll go back with something softer to feather this in. So I don't want sanding marks to show up under the paint either. Scuffed everywhere, sanded, Dings and divots are hopefully all erased now, and it is going to get wiped down and painted. Okay, I have my paint here. I went with Pressed Fern by Fusion. And I'll tell you why. I like Fusion paint. I like that it's self-leveling. I like that it's pretty durable and doesn't require top coat. It's not as porous as chalk paint. And I liked this color. It's a cross between a hunter green and an emerald. And I thought that spoke well to the lines of this piece. I wanted to not throw away the fact that it was traditional, but I didn't want to just go with a safe neutral like a gray or a white. It's been forever trying to do stain blocking and priming on this thing to cover up all these tannins from the red mahogany. So I knew I wanted a darker color and I wanted a neutral. And so I considered the navy blues and dark greens a neutral. So I think this will appeal to a lot of people while still giving it a little bit of a funky take. I could have probably even gone a little bit more emerald because it's a small piece. It's not going to dominate your room and it can be an eye-catching accent. But pressed fern, this just nice hunter with a hint of emerald, I think is going to be the best of all worlds. And it's going to honor the lines. It's not going to be too bold, too shocking, and still updated. Okay, here we are. First coat is on, and it's living up to the expectations. It's slick, it's classy, but it's playful. I think it's going to work. All right, we're ready to put another coat on. The first coat I think went really well. Now we're just going more for coverage with this coat. Probably will have to sand and do one more because we have some scratches that might show up from our original scuff. But overall, we should know what the final look is, more or less, by the end of this coat. Got a little moisture in the sponge, so we'll have to just keep this moving because it's going to get thin. Try to get some of that out. Crisis averted. These little areas. Perfect for the brush. Same thing with this lip here. Don't want a lot of paint to build up. Second coat is dry. The area where I thought we might have some issues because the water was in the roller and it got a little thin. It looks okay. That's what I like about this paint, is that it lays down flat and levels. One thing I do want to address, we have some scratches that are showing up from when I scuffed the top. So I'm just going to lightly sand this and do one more coat. But overall, I'm very pleased. So I put some more on the drawer faces on the top on this shelf, and then touched up a couple places on the legs that were a little thin. Hopefully all that dries, that'll be it, but we will have to see. I can still see the lines showing up, but it is glossy right now, so maybe that goes away when it dries. It's really hard to tell. Here we have the final product. I'm really pleased how it turned out. I really like the color. I really like how it complements the gold hardware. And I actually really like this piece without the extra trim. Once we cleaned up the drawer faces, I think it looks a lot more modern. The lines are a lot cleaner. And then this green, it's a completely different piece.